Hi. All right, so today I want to do my 6-week carnivore update. I know I was going to do it last week, but anyways, this is the 6 weeks update. So I have my blood work in. This is my blood work from last fall, and this is my blood work I just got done. So it's about 8 months difference. And since Christmas, I've been GAPS, mostly stage 1. I did include some veggies, mostly bone broth, boiled meats, a lot of collagen and gelatin. You know, I did have some vegetables and some fermented foods. Then that didn't go well for me, so I backed off and went to carnivore and did some fasting. And anyway, this is a 6-week carnivore update where I was strict carnivore, just eating nose to tail. I guess it was all ruminants. So anyways, and a little bit of fish. So anyways, as for my blood results, I'm just going over them now for the first time. So the ones that I was really worried about since back in the fall, my parathyroid level was an 8.4. This is in Canadian measurements, so it was very, very high. It was really high outside the reference range, which was super bad. And I'm looking at it here, and it is now inside the reference range, and it is 2.7. So the reference range is 1.6 to 6.9, and again, before it was 8.4, so it was super duper high. And now it's low. It's near the lower end of the range. So if anything, carnivore and doing keto before that and GAPS before that has certainly helped my parathyroid hormone. Let's see what we have here. Okay, my blood count stuff, my hemoglobin is within reference range. Everything is within reference range on my hematology. So there's no problems there, but there was in my last one as well. Everything was in reference range with my hematology. So that's good. My ferritin, which was something that's always been super low. At a point in the past, it was 2. And so blood transfusions were recommended, lots of iron was recommended for years. I couldn't get it past 5. I got it up to 5 at one point. I couldn't get it past 5. I worked really, really hard in the last years, mostly eating meat and liver to get it up. And in the fall, it was at 30. Which is within the reference range, but obviously on the lower end. And this time, if I can find it, it's always hard to find everything when you're looking for it. My ferritin was 40. So the highest it's been in 5 years. It's the highest it's been. And no doubt the carnivore diet helped with that. No doubt it increased my, I'd still like to get it higher. I want to get it at least to 60. But no doubt that was a contributing factor. Oh, that's good. Okay, so my TSH, which has always also been a problem. See if I can find my TSH from last time. It's so hard to find these things. Okay, here it is. Okay, so at one point my TSH was around 6. It was 5.8, 5.9 for the last 4 or 5 years. And then on my last blood results in the fall, it was down to 1.9, which was amazing. And now it is at 1.6. So still within range, still under that 2, which I wanted to see it. So my TSH is doing well. Last time I did a whole thyroid panel. This time I did not. They wouldn't do it for me again because it wasn't elapsed a year. And I did not pay for it to have done. So, okay. So let me just check. You know what? They didn't do a urinalysis this time on me, which was too bad because last time my urine pH was so high. It was out of control. It was 9, but so I would have really liked to have seen what that was, but anyway, that wasn't done. Okay, so let's get to my, let's see what I have here. Sorry this is taking so long. It's just I didn't fix it all beforehand, so. Okay. My vitamin D was 95 last time, and it is 103 this time. So it's moved up a little bit, which is great. And the reference range for in Canada is between 75 and 250. So 103 is great. Now I did and have been supplementing with vitamin D3K2, the Thorn brand, probably for the last couple years. So I didn't supplement at all when I was, basically since January I haven't supplemented at all with vitamin D because I had the pneumonia and the antibiotic and all the problems and the setback. And then when I went carnivore I didn't do any supplements. So it's still up in spite of that and it being winter here in Canada. So that's really good. I was really worried about losing vitamin D on the carnivore diet because there's not a lot of places that you're getting it, except for the fish. And if you include cod livers, that can be a really high source. So that was good. Okay. There seems to be no flags on this. My creatine is 69. And the last time it was 67, so it's right around the same. Okay, so now I'm looking at my potassium because I was pretty worried about my potassium. My potassium is 4.2, and that's right in the middle of the reference range. I was so worried about my potassium and not getting any potassium on this diet, so it didn't affect it. But let me look what it was last time. If I have it here, my potassium was 4.3, so it dropped 1, hardly anything. My bilirubin was 7, and last time it was 5. Let's see if there's any. My gamma glutamyl transferase is 11, and that's a little bit low. The reference range is 12 to 37. Last time it was 12, this time it's 11. So, yeah, we want to, I don't really know much about that one, so I don't know what to say. Okay, so I'm going to my cholesterol. Okay. Okay, so my HDL was 2.4. My LDL was 6.76, which is pretty high. Last time my LDL cholesterol was 2.54. And the last time my HDL cholesterol was 2.51. So my HDL cholesterol didn't change much. My LDL cholesterol has gone way up. And my non-LDL cholesterol is 7. So I think that's okay. It's a little on the high side for sure. Okay, let's move on. My vitamin B12 last time, or do I have all this information? Okay, last time it was 534, which was fairly high. The reference range is 138 to 652, so it's near the top end, and it was 534 before my B12. And now my B12 is, if I can find it, 738, so it's higher than the reference range. So my B12 is high, which I suppose is good, but it is higher than the reference range. So I'm not sure what the problems are with having something higher. I know you don't want it lower, but my vitamin B12 seems good. So all in all, they did not detect any hepatitis antigens or any kind of hepatitis B or C or anything like that. And again, last time that wasn't detected either. And my C-reactive protein this time was 0.7. 0.7, my C-reactive protein. And last time, I was looking here. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I wish they would put it in the same order. It's in it. The reason why this is so confusing is because they didn't put it on the same pages. It's like in a different order, which is super annoying. My C-reactive protein was 0.5 last time. So there was no mono antibodies that were detected in either one, which is good because I have had lots of those detected in the past. So overall, to me, the blood test looks fairly good, actually. My glucose was 5.2 actually, which is kind of weird because I did a fasted blood test in the morning, so it was fasted. I had no food, and I was on carnivore, so I would expect my glucose to be a lot lower than 5.2 fasted in the morning because the reference range is 3.6 to 7.7. But of course, we know we all like it to be under 6. So 5.5 was where you get at risk, and mine was a little high, actually, to be honest with you, for carnivore and for being fasted, I'd say. My HbA1c was 5.3, and last time it was 5.1. So it's a little more. But all in all, this blood test is not a bad blood test considering all my symptoms. So the carnivore diet at this point from my blood tests doesn't scare me off, and I'm not sure whether I'm going to continue with it or abandon it. I did try to include the smoothie over the last 4 or 5 days. It did increase my symptoms quite a bit. Now, I don't know if that's from the cultured buffalo kefir, the tablespoon that I incorporated in there. It could be from the dairy, or it could just be from the juiced vegetables or any other greens itself that went into that smoothie. If you're not familiar with the smoothie I'm talking about, you can go back and take a look. But my symptoms have been strong at the very, very high end. So they've been very, very, very bad. So it definitely hasn't been an easy transition to include other foods besides meat. And I only did it for 2 to 3 days at this point in very minimal amounts. So I'm mostly still eating carnivore with just minimal amounts of other foods that were included in that smoothie to try to include them to get up my other minerals and vitamins that I need up. but it hasn't gone well. So I don't know whether I'm going to stick with carnivore or continue to try to slowly include these foods. But yeah, my symptoms are quite bad, and the blood work isn't worse for wear. So, you know, it is a nervous system problem. It is an autoimmune problem. It is stemming from the brain and the central nervous system. There's a lot of damage. There's probably a lot of damage to my gut-brain barrier and my brain, blood-brain barrier. So I'm not exactly sure where I'm going with this, but the problems for me so far on the carnivore diet are I haven't gone number 2 once since I started it in the 6-week period. I left it 6 days one time, but normally I would leave it 3 days and then do a water enema. So I don't know if that's normal for anyone else, but I'm not getting any movement in that area, and I definitely am eating 2 meals a day, so it should be coming out. And I shouldn't have to force myself to do a water enema, but you know, with all the toxicity high levels that I have and all the symptoms, I don't want to leave it and just let nature take its course and just wait until at some point, because I do need to keep emptying the bucket of my toxicity load and getting things out. So although one time I did leave it to day 6, I wasn't willing to leave it any longer because of my symptoms, and so I did a water enema. So that's been not good. The other thing is my urine has had a very, very, very strong sulfur and ammonia smell, and I've been thinking that that would die off after a couple of weeks, but it didn't. It's been super strong, and it's been really making me feel like, you know, maybe it is the broth itself, maybe it's the animal product itself, maybe my acidity level is too high. You know, maybe I need to bring it down, maybe I do need to alkalize or have some vegetables in there. So that was one of my thoughts, because I don't know why the urine smell would go on and on and on so long. So those were my 2 concerns. And the other third and biggest concern was that I'm just not meeting all of the nutrients and minerals that I need to eat. So like I said, I tried for a period of 3 days to introduce new foods slowly. The foods from the smoothie recipe that I posted hasn't gone over well. But again, my symptoms were high before that too. I think they were a little higher though once I introduced the other foods in the smoothie. So I'm just not sure at this point whether I'm going to be sticking with carnivore longer, or whether I'm going to be trying to incorporate small amounts of plant food to round out my diet and see if my body will accept them. Yeah, I'm sort of at a loss on where I'm going next, but I did want to update with my blood work and show that my blood work seems to be okay, except for the high B12. Everything else seems pretty good. I think my cholesterol is a little higher than I'd like to see it, but again, cholesterol helps to heal your nerves and your tissues, and I need cholesterol to help me heal. So, you know, that's important to me as well. So, what else did I want to say? Oh, I wanted to say the day before, so this was 3 days ago, I tried to introduce any other food. I did on that day a stool analysis for Viome, and I've done Viome in the past. I don't find them that super helpful. I did at one point think that it would be great, but anyway, yeah, I don't find that test super helpful, but I wanted to do the Viome test after the 6 weeks of carnivore to see exactly what is going on in my microbiome. So this was a test after GAPS, after carnivore, after the round of antibiotic, after the pneumonia. So I don't know what's going to come out on that test, and it takes like 4 weeks to get the results back. So I won't be able to update you on my Viome carnivore results for another 6 weeks, or another 4 weeks anyway. But I did want to let you know that I did have that done, so it'll be interesting to see what's growing in there, what is left after the antibiotics, and then after going carnivore and basically starving out everything. You know, do I have candida? What is going on in my microbiome, and what's growing in there? So that will be interesting to see, and I will update you later. But anyways, sorry this has been a dry video. I just wanted to get the results out there, say what my concerns, what my problems have been on the carnivore diet, say what my issues and problems are with now trying to bring in other foods. I just feel like my immune system is super reactive to almost anything. And it does get better when I fast, but I can't not eat forever. And even when I just eat carnivore or meat, they tend to flare up after a meal within about an hour. So, you know, that was another reason that the carnivore diet was bothering me, but I think it might just be food in general. Like anytime there's any input going into my body, my immune system is just reacting. So I'm not sure what to make of that or what to do. I know I can't starve myself. I know I can't fast because that also is very hard on my body. So right now I'm just trying to eat very small meals, maybe 1 to 2 a day. And it's been carnivore. And then just these little small bits of trying to incorporate this smoothie or these other foods. So anyways, I will just keep working with my diet and update you later, but I wanted to get these blood results out there.